Welcome, adventure seekers. We're uncommon voyagers, otherwise known as Mandy and Greg, Brisbane, Australia's almost empty nesters, about to turn our midlife crisis into an Italian escapade. Our mission? Spend 2025 getting ready to make the life-changing move to Italy. We'll be juggling home renovations, Italian house hunting, planning slow travel, prepping our kids to survive without us, and cramming our entire life into 2 suitcases. If you love big dreams with a sprinkling of chaos, we'd love for you to come along for the ride. Hit subscribe. It'll be bellissimo. Hi friends, welcome back to Uncommon Voyagers, and today I'm actually going back into Fara San Martino. Now I know I have an earlier video of Fara San Martino, but that one's about double the price of this one, and I really quite like this one. It even has some views, so stick with me as we go through all the pros and cons. So we've got a population of approximately 1600, and this town is in the province of Chieti, obviously in Abruzzo, but province of Chieti. Now I've outlined the exterior of the house that's for sale, just to give you an idea, because sometimes they can run into each other and you don't know what's what. My understanding is that what I've got here is what is up for sale, and then I've just popped in some little notes showing where the front door is, where the bedroom 2 window is, just to so you can really orientate yourself once we get into the house. Unfortunately, with this one, I couldn't find a floor plan anywhere, so I've kind of popped one together myself, but I just like to give you as many details as possible. So as we can see, we've got a garage there underneath the balcony, but I just wanted to show you again from the outside. So we've got bedroom 1 off to the left, and then we've got the lounge room that has the little Juliet balcony coming off it. As you can see, kind of looking down the street to the right is the house that's for sale, but it's parking out front. Now, as you open the front doors, you've got an internal staircase that goes up. You've got your lounge off to your left and your kitchen and bedroom 2 off to the right. I've just popped a picture of the lounge there just to show kind of, if you were standing in the doorway of the lounge, what that would look like. Now you could potentially put a dining in here as well, since it has a dining room table in the middle of the room. It would really just be up to you how much space you wanted to utilize in that lounge room. But yeah, cute little balcony off there, and then I've popped another picture in, kind of showing from if you're standing against the wall from the other side of the room looking back at the doors, and then the kind of view that you would get to see if you were standing on the little Juliet balcony, or if you were just sitting in a chair in your lounge room having a cup of tea or coffee and just looking out and admiring the view. It's a really nice street scene as well. You do have that little bit of parking at the base, but amazing views. Now this is bedroom 1, quite a small bedroom. As you can see, it's only got a single size bed in there, so that really does give you a bit of an idea about the size you're dealing with. Now, because this is right next door to the lounge room, if there was any chance of potentially removing a wall or putting a little archway in there, you might want to do that to make that space bigger, or turn this one into an office. I personally, although I've called it bedroom 1 and it's classed as the only official bedroom in the house, I would potentially just make that an office. We then go into a good sized kitchen, which has a fireplace, which is super cute. But based on the size of this kitchen, you could definitely put a bit of a galley kitchen in there, and even just have a little kitchen table and chairs in there if that's where you wanted to eat. It certainly looks as though there's enough room there, and then that would totally free up your lounge room. Now, this is what I'm calling bedroom 2, although it hasn't been counted as a bedroom in terms of where it's being sold. It looks quite a good size, much bigger than the room with the single bed, which means that I would be more inclined to make this the master or main bedroom, primary bedroom, and roll with that. Now, I actually don't know where this toilet is located. Looks like there's a window off to the left, which means it could potentially be anywhere. I couldn't figure it out by looking and clicking around where this toilet actually is, and I don't see any pictures of a bathroom, so I don't know if this is you stand in the metal pot that you can see up on the left and have a bit of a bath, or what it is. But definitely there's plumbing there, so you'd have to look into how you could actually pop a bedroom in there, a bathroom in there. Then we go downstairs. The picture on the left shows the garage door open, so you do definitely have room to park a car inside if you want to. And then there's a couple of cellars at the back. So it's basically the same floor plan as above, in that you've got all of that space underneath. And I definitely think that you could turn one of these into a cantina if you really wanted to. The fact that we've got some vaulted ceilings there is also amazing. Now, I've just done up a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a dodgy floor plan, but there wasn't one at hand, so I just kind of made one up to give you an idea of what you're dealing with. So, as you walk up the stairs, you've got your lounge dining room with the Juliet balcony. That's off to the left. And then right next to that is the tiny bedroom with the single bed in it. And then to the right of the stairs, you've got what I called bedroom two, but I would potentially make that the primary. And then you've got your kitchen across the way. I just threw the toilet in there basically because I don't know and I can't figure out on the floor plan where that toilet actually is. The fact that there's a window means that it's not where I put it, but I can't work out and I couldn't see on the outside. So if anyone has any ideas about where that toilet might be located and you want to pop it in the comments, go for it. So basically just describing what is on offer. It's got one bedroom, potentially two, with views of the mountains, which is lovely, one bathroom, and I'm unsure if this just means the toilet that was shown in the pictures. So there's all those things that were shown. Now I also like to show you where things are in terms of to the closest town if you can. So from Sulmona to Fara San Martino, you can see by car it's 1 hour, around the hour mark. And then if you've got Pescara to San Martino, you've also got about the 1 hour mark. So, and you've also got Chieti just before you get to Pescara. So the good news is that you've got some big towns like close by, which would be amazing. Carsali is probably your biggest town that's close by that you could potentially get, or Lanciano, that you could get anything that you need that you couldn't get in the town itself, which we'll talk about now. So before we do that, the quick property details. Pros, 7% flat tax because of the population size, minimal reno, economical. The cons, we've got some stairs if you have to take that into account in terms of mobility issues or age proofing, and the tiny bathroom that I can't quite figure out what is going on within that floor plan. So the fact that no real bathroom was shown makes me a little bit concerned that that tiny space is what's classed as your bathroom, but you never know. Now, in terms of natural attractions, you're in Abruzzo. I've talked about this in our other videos. You're at the foot of the mountains. There's a beautiful hiking trail. You're 45 minutes from skiing if you want to go skiing. You're 45 minutes to an hour from the Trabucchi coast or from beaches. And then you also have the sparkling waters of essentially Fara San Martino, which is why you've got Checo pasta there because they use that water to make the pasta. It's the best in the world. Now, cultural and historical sites, you've got you've got a church there. I'm not going to say the names because I'll butcher them, and they're beautiful names. But you've got museums, and then you also have the monastery, which is probably the most popular and well-known thing that you can visit when you're in Fara San Martino. In terms of infrastructure, we've got your usual water and electricity, yes, although you might have to get it hooked up to your actual home. Internet, yes. Emergency services, I couldn't find info on, but you've got doctors and smaller things there, and then you can always go to Chieti or Lanciano or Carsali for, you know, more in-depth things like that. You've also got banking, food and shopping. You've got some supermarkets, bigger supermarkets just outside of the town. You've got hardware. You've got a weekly market on a Thursday morning, specialty artisan shops, and some clothing. Although you would have to go to a bigger town to really, go on a shopping spree. This is not a shopping spree town for clothing and whatnot. But you could definitely get what you needed to get. In the town without going too far afield. But yeah, definitely Carsali would be the go. It's a walkable town, relatively bike friendly. You've got local and regional bus services. Unfortunately, there isn't a train station in this town, but definitely easy road access to all of your bigger towns. And then you're about 2 hours from Rome and about an hour from Pescara Airport. So definitely nothing, too out of the way there. I would say that a car would be optimal, but the fact that there are, you have buses and whatnot is pretty good. So you're not completely stranded where in some towns where you actually need a car because there isn't even a bus that goes to the town. So yeah, definitely a draw card for me. You've got local clinics and family doctors for healthcare, larger hospitals about 30 to 40 minutes by car. And then if you want well-being things, I couldn't find anything specific, but you could go and do any of your kind of allied health things in the bigger towns of Lanciano or Chieti. So definite options there. I'd actually like to look a little bit deeper into what there is. I just couldn't find a lot of information, but there's some agriturismos close by that might also have some things like spas. Education, you've got a preschool kindergarten, you've got a primary school, you've got a middle school. Unfortunately, no high school in Fara San Martino, but it's an 8 kilometre commute to Carsley, and they do have a school bus that does that. If you're wanting to go to any of the larger, if you're looking for an international school or anything like that, you would definitely have to go to one of the bigger cities like Chieti to take advantage of that sort of thing. But in terms of fun, look, there's festivals. They have festivals on. They just had a music festival. They have walking groups and outdoor clubs because it's such a beautiful place to go walking, and you've got that monastery close by, art exhibitions and concerts, and you have Christmas activities that go on, as we get into the different seasons. So you're definitely spoilt for choice in terms of what you can get up to in the town without even having to leave. So that's a real draw card for me. Now, price 23,000 plus fees and taxes. Oh, sorry, 23,000 euros, which equates to about 40,000 Australian and about 26 US. Fees and taxes, guys, I recommend that you add on 20 to 30% on top of whatever the asking price is, because you do have to pay the real estate agent when you're buying. Different countries do it in different ways. In Australia, we don't, the buyer doesn't pay the real estate agent, only the seller, but there are different fees and taxes that you'll definitely have to take into account when it comes to what you kind of see. However, they may also be negotiable depending on how long these places have been on sale for. So, but just to be comfortable, I would say minimum of 20 to 30% to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room there for those fees and taxes to be added on. So still a fantastic price though. So the first house that I had in Fara San Martino that I still love was double this price. So this is a bargain and it looks amazing. Short and sweet one this time around, guys, but I hope you've enjoyed another look at Fara San Martino. Definitely keeps making its way to the top of my list. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, it's so appreciated. It just gets the channel out there a little bit more, and I get to talk to lots of new people and make some new friends. Thank you.